I'm Craig Kenneth, a relationship coach and a psychotherapist. Don't go through a breakup alone. Click on the link in the description below to get a one-on-one coaching with me, or go to my website, askcraig.net. Hi there, I'm Coach Craig Kenneth, and in this video I'm going to be talking to you about how you turned them off. So the reason that I wanted to do this video is because so many of you guys come on too strong when you're talking to somebody, and this is the ladies too, not just the guys. When I say guys, I meant all of you. But it's really, really important to monitor your own level of interest and how forward you are coming across to the people that you're interacting with. And I had a really good email that I thought could help you guys with this, and so I just want you to be aware that when you start talking to somebody, maybe it's somebody new, maybe it's somebody that you dated in the past, you might have idealized them and kind of saw them as this fantasy, which is what we all tend to do. Is we have this, what I call a projection of hope, which is a Jungian term, a projection of hope. And so I really look at it in the aspects of the dating world. And what happens is that when you haven't had your needs met, when you have had all of these things neglected in your life for so long, you begin to fantasize that somebody is going to come along and meet those needs. And the more you've been neglected in those areas, the more you're going to fantasize, and the more eager you're going to be to help, hope, and project onto this person. So, I have an email here from a 30-year-old guy who acted like an 18-year-old guy, in the sense that he was really, really over-eager, came on very strong, because he had this fantasy about this girl that in this particular case he used to date. Now, for their situation, the girl was in her mid to late 20s also, and they had dated 8 years ago. Now, their relationship was not serious in the past, which just goes to show part of the fantasy, right? Because if it had been a real long-term relationship, the fantasy of it kind of gets overtaken by reality. You date somebody for a couple of years, you're going to know their highs and their lows, their insides, their outs, their ups and their downs. But if you've only dated somebody for maybe 3 or 4 months, or even, less than that, or, I would say anything under a year, you're going to be a lot more likely to fantasize about that person, because it didn't become a real substance of a relationship in most cases. So, okay, they dated 8 years ago, wasn't a serious relationship, but she made a big impression on him. That's what he says. When they initially broke up, he said he didn't handle it well. He did everything wrong because he fell hard for her in such a short time, which tells me this is a fantasy. He's really projecting all of these fantasies, and I think in this situation, a lot of it was a strong sexual connection to her. And, that's how we're wired. That's just the reality of the situation. We are not just robots. We are physically and we are sexually attracted to certain people, and obviously some more so than others. With this girl, I think that's a big part of what was happening here. Now, he doesn't know a lot of information about this girl because they just reconnected for the first time in a long time. And she is a single mom. He doesn't know what the relationship is like with the child's father. So he doesn't know if she wants to work things out, who left who, how long they've been separated. All of those things are going to play major, major factors in what's going on here, because if he just left her a couple of weeks ago or a month ago or whatever, maybe she wants to work it out and try and have a family with him. it's going to have a major impact. So he doesn't know any of that information yet, so it's going to be a little bit too early for him to tell, but like I said, I can already see a lot of this has to do with the fantasy, the projection of hope. So, he says that she's beautiful and smart and sexy. They broke up after a little bit of on again, off again, and didn't speak for 8 years. He was in a serious relationship for a while, but now he is single. And a series of events led to me finding her on Instagram. And by series of events, I'm sure it meant him searching her name and looking for her for days upon days to finally find her. Series of events. Come on, man. Let's be honest here. He didn't send her a message, but let me rewind a little bit. I think I scrolled down a little too far. Okay. He didn't send her a message, but he added her. A few days later, she contacted him asking how he was doing. He said he was deliberately cool with her as he knew he was in trouble again after seeing her pictures, and he didn't want to seem too interested. Which, of course, is exactly what he's going to wind up doing. Remember, you have to be careful of what your mind focuses on. He says, I don't want to seem too keen. So what does he wind up doing? Seeming too keen. What you need to do is say, I'm going to take things slow. Your brain hears, I'm going to take it slow, and then that's what you do. So, he said the conversation progressed to her sending me these 2 messages, and he's paraphrasing. Do you still think about me sexually? Hold on there, folks. You know he's got to be excited now. This is a girl he's been thinking about for 8 years, and that's where she starts off. Well, let's see how this progresses. I'm asking because there was a time between us that I think about often when I'm horny, and I'm wondering if you did too. If I smoked, I'd need a cigarette right now. Just, you know this guy had to be like freaking out, and that is what happened. He got so overexcited by her saying these things to him. I mean, and who could blame him? But you have to be very careful. So, he said, the conversation progressed to her sending me these 2 messages. Oh, I apologize. I just read that part. He said, well, this was like all of my Christmases coming at once. I would throw birthdays on top of that for you, buddy. Christmases and birthdays. She has to be my go-to fantasy girl on a lonely night for literally years. Oh, man. You know, it's just kind of wrong about this is because he happened to send me the girl's Instagram link. Some people do this, some people don't. He did. So now I know. Now I'm kind of picturing. Thank God that I don't know what he looks like to picture him fantasizing about her. Oh man. All right. He said, I even told myself how pathetic is more than once, as clearly never thinks about me, how wrong I was. I told her that I think about her often. I also identified the specific times she was thinking about without telling her. I'm reading this properly, folks. I swear to God, I read that sentence correctly. That's how he wrote it. I did this all in a jokey, sarcastic way. No, but I think you probably started to come on too strong here. You came a little unglued. That night, things escalated to me practically writing her an erotic novel via text and her pleasuring herself into oblivion at the other end until 2 in the morning. I know this seems like a good idea when you're caught up in the moment, but had you played that right, she would have been over your house until 2 o'clock in the morning and not texting, okay? So, For you guys listening out there, and ladies too, stay calm. Don't get caught in the fantasy of the text messages. Okay? Watch what happens. I asked her when she was free to meet up, and she said that she didn't really mean for things to go this far and that she's not sure she's ready for that. Too much, too soon, too strong, too fast. This is not some 18-year-old single girl with no ties. She also has a kid, right? So let's be realistic here. She hasn't seen this guy in years, and you're already coming on so strong, and don't get me wrong, I'm sure she's turned on and likes the idea of seeing you and everything, but when you come on that quick, so strong, it's going to make her feel smothered, and she's going to possibly feel like you're using her or just want to see her for sex. Even if that's not the case, that's probably how it's going to appear. So, he says, I feel like I'm losing control of the situation. She even joked about how easy I am, which is worrying. Yeah, she's right. You weren't a challenge at all. Had you played it correctly, you could have, set up a time to go out and have a fun time together and let the chemistry flow naturally. But you pushed it too fast, too soon, and now she's just like thinking, is he just wanting sex? Does he really like me? What does he want? You know what I mean? Yesterday she said she was going to the Christmas market with her daughter, and I asked her if she wanted company. Man, come on. You know, I get that you really want to see her. And now it's just like you already coming on too strong, and now you're trying to go, you were talking all filthy and dirty and disgusting, and now you're like, hey, can I go to the farmer's market with you and your kid? I think your age has quite a bit to do with this. Had you been an older guy with a little bit more experience, you would have been like, yeah, that's not a good situation. We haven't seen each other in a long time. We need to go out and do something as adults. You know what I mean? Having a good evening as an adult or kid, And you're acting too strong, too desperate. You're no fun, you're no challenge, It's like you're just lying dead at her door like, please, pick me up and play with me. No, that's no fun. You got to be like the string trying to bounce away, that you want to catch the string. Especially in this situation where, you haven't seen this girl in years. He said this was after a long... oh, by the way, she said no. I forgot that part. Tactfully. No is still no. There was a long texting session in the morning with more sexy pictures being sent to me. Okay, so... all this has happened in about 4 days from the first contact. How can I turn this around? I want this girl. Well, I think we all know you want this girl. And she knows it too. And you came on way too strong. And, a big part of this is the fantasy of who she is to you. And there's nothing wrong with that. But you need to be realistic here. And your behavior is going to turn her off. And I think it did. Because obviously, she's already telling you no. So what you're doing is not working. And you know that, obviously, because you came to me for help. So coming on so strong made her probably feel smothered, and she probably was thinking, like a responsible adult somewhat, like, I don't know if I should, I have a kid, and I don't know this guy. Plus, we don't know the situation with the kid's dad, where they are at, the status of that relationship, if they're trying to work it out, if, there's a lot of factors we don't know here. So, in this particular situation, what I would tell him to do, and this is what I suggested, is that I think he should wait about a week or a week and a half to get with her again before he messages her again. This gives her a little bit of space and time to digest things because, you want her to wonder, you don't want her to think you've lost all interest because you haven't, but at the same time, you came on so strong, you need to back off a little bit. Now, if she reaches out to him, I suggested that, he takes her out to do something fun and, have a good time with her. But, not talk about sex, not talk about the kinky, strong sexual attraction they have to each other. Just have fun with each other and let whatever's going to happen, happen. Because I think if you talk about it anymore, you're really going to turn her off. Because, obviously she's not wanting to see you. And that's not what you want. You want to see her and spend time with her in person and see how things go. Obviously you guys are adults, and one thing's going to lead to another if there's sexual chemistry and attraction. So, just relax. When she reaches out to you, you want to be interested, but you don't want to come on so strong like you did. Just keep your interest slightly lower and give her some time to adjust to the idea of going out and hanging out with you. And just have a fun time with her and see how it goes. Don't put pressure on the situation to make sex happen, because, that doesn't feel natural and it doesn't feel right. And just let it happen naturally. And I think that if you just spend some time with her, it's going to happen. But you don't want her to feel used. Not that women aren't sexual people too, because they absolutely are, and they have their own set of needs, and I'm not saying that they don't. But you came on so strong that instead of her looking forward to setting up a date with you, she's looking for reasons to tell you no. So, relax, take your time, have fun with her, let her know that, hey, even if you have to say, yeah, I did come on a little strong. The idea of the fantasy got me a little turned on, but, I just want to go out and have a good time with you and see where this goes. She'll probably feel more comfortable in that situation and give you an opportunity. So, if you'd like to get my help personally, just go to my website, askcraig.net, and sign up for the coaching option that works best for you. And if you like this video, put a like on there, and be sure to subscribe to the channel, because I do post videos Monday through Friday. But that's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth, and I will talk with you soon.